going on, y'all? How's your guys' day going? I hope you're having a good day. My day's good. Thank you for asking. As again, I'm sure you can tell my voice is still gone, but this time it was from losing at beer pong. I thought you were supposed to do better the more that you play, but I guess not. But anyways, I apologize in advance if it's too difficult to understand what I'm trying to say. I'll try to accentuate myself. I noticed that there is a increasing, and meaning it's getting worse. There is an increasing hypocrisy surrounding obsession of, really, you could say anyone, but the main thing I've seen it with is women. And what I mean when I say that is, obviously any type of overt, I guess, attention or fixation on people of any, it doesn't matter. It could be normal people, celebrities, dancers, anybody, right? There is nothing like there. You should not be so fixated on another person's life that you pay attention to literally everything they're doing, right? Like what they eat, what their workout plan is, who they're dating, their sexuality, right? And don't get me wrong, there is a difference between being curious about these things for whatever reason, and then there is what I'm talking about, which is this obsession where it's like, oh my gosh, yes, this person just came out lesbian, thank God, finally, this, or oh my gosh, yes, this person is dating so-and-so, like, oh, I've been thinking about this for years, or whatever it might be, right? And look, if you're happy for, like, let's say, a celebrity, that they are, I guess they've done something that causes you to be happy for them, that's fine. That's not the problem. The problem isn't the fact that people are happy about the things that happen to people. Again, it's the fixation on the specific things. And so to make it a little bit more clear, so I'm not being vague, I'm talking specifically about, like, when I think of this, I specifically am thinking about the recent, I think it's a K-pop. I could be wrong. No, is it K-pop? I don't know. I don't think it is, but it's very, I've heard that it's very similar. It's Cat's Eye. It's this new group of girls who are blowing up due to their music, and they're dancers, and they come up with dances and they sing their songs and whatnot, right? And so just like every other band out there, just like every other group out there, you have people who are obsessing over them, over every little thing that you could think of. And this, by no means is new, right? You've had plenty of groups in the past who get obsessed over every little thing, right? Like, even the first thing I think of is back when Michael Jordan got, not in trouble, I should say, but he was reprimanded by news outlets for gambling. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't want to try to laugh too much. I know how funny I am, but I can't laugh too much. I'll start coughing. But anyways, there is just this very weird fixation on that group in particular, but I want to talk about the concept altogether. I don't want to focus just on them. And another thing I want to mention before I continue, this is not meant to be bashing. This is not meant to be bashing. This is not meant to be generalizations. This isn't meant to be like, oh, there's one group of people who are the problem, right? Because obviously everybody contributes to problems. And so anyways, right, the first thing you think of when you think of people judging other people for being obsessed, you'll probably think of men, right? Men who are just saying the most absurd things, or even hating in very, like, not hating in like a casual way, like, oh, that thing sucks. No, like hating in like a racist way or sexist way or something extreme, right? And that, that might be the first thing you think of, because you go online and, you see just 40-year-old men, 50-year-old men with, mind you, these 40, 50-year-old men are on their main account with their wife and kids in their profile picture. And they are commenting some of the most foul, funky stuff you wouldn't even imagine saying in public, let alone online, where their grandkids can see what they're commenting on other women's posts. And so anyways, that's the first thing you think of when you think of, I guess, or at least me, right? When I think of like people being obsessive online, There are plenty of men out there who are very obsessive over women. And so, just like I said earlier, that group, Cat's Eye, they're no different. They're no different. There are people obsessing over this group. But then I noticed something very, very particular that goes unnoticed. It's this subtle thing that is not spoken about. It is, but it isn't spoken about in a direct manner, if you will, right? Like they don't pay attention to the specifics. And so what I mean when I say that is, I'll give you an example, right? You have so-called fans, right? Which are definitely not. These people are living some sort of fantasy. That's the only thing I could attribute it to. You have these so-called fans who spend every waking day making fan accounts and commenting and making posts talking about that group, Cat's Eye, and their sexuality, who they're dating, their body figure. And mind you, again, they are not talking about these things in a curious or genuine manner. It isn't like they're posting, oh, I wonder if so-and-so is dating this person. Oh, I wonder if this person's lesbian. No. It's the complete opposite. It's, oh my gosh, what if so-and-so was lesbian with this girl? Oh, what if this girl was bi and they got with this girl? Or, oh, I wonder, look at the chemistry between these two. They totally look like they're about to kiss. They totally look like they're about to start making out on stage or whatever, right? Like, I'm being dramatic, I'm being hyperbolic on purpose, but that is the energy. And by the way, I'm not being dramatic about the situation. I'm being dramatic about the things I'm saying. Because those situations, like I'm referencing actual videos I've seen of people making videos about these girls where they are freaking out. Like I'm talking about, like, there is a level of energy and intensity about another person's sexuality that is not normal. Okay? Because I don't know why it has become so popular to obsess over sexuality at all. And I know how that sounds, right? That sounds like every other, person who doesn't agree with LGBTQ or like the community as a whole, right? And look, I'm Christian, right? So I don't support LGBTQ. However, that doesn't mean that I don't understand. And that doesn't mean that, I guess, like everything is, like there's a problem with every single thing. And so anyways, I remember growing up around, I've been around plenty of lesbians or gay guys, right? And the number one thing I have always noticed that has never made sense to me is the personality change. It's the shift, right? Now, let's take a gay couple, right? Let's just for conversation's sake, let's take a gay couple of two dudes, right? Nothing different about them. They're just dudes. They still watch football. They still all do all the same things that guys do, but they're gay. Totally cool, right? Perfect, like nothing going on here. And, if they found out that some random band that they like Creed or Metallica or whoever, you name it, Taylor Swift even, like, whoever they listen to, right? Because again, it doesn't matter that they're gay, right? Like that's not the focus that people try to make it seem. People try to make it seem like I'm gay, therefore this, right? That's supposed to be the point. And so anyways, right? Let's say they find out that somebody comes out lesbian, somebody comes out gay. You want to know what they would say? Oh, okay, that's cool. Right? That's how it used to be, right? Maybe in the past, again, like I said, when I was growing up, those were the type of people I grew up around, where they would just be like, oh, okay, cool. That's cool, right? Okay, now, in the present time, 2026, if a celebrity, regardless of who they are, it doesn't even have to be a celebrity. I'm just doing celebrities for the sake of conversation, right? If a celebrity comes out and they announce that they're gay, or they announce that they're lesbian, or even if they don't, which again, that's the weird part. Even if they don't publicly come out and say anything about it, you have people making fan accounts obsessing over, and I'm saying this word very specifically, obsessing over the fantasy that this person is a lesbian or is gay or is with this person, or like, you name it, dude. It could be anything. And it doesn't make sense to me, right? Because earlier I had mentioned where you see men, right? Men saying foul things, saying just disgusting things on women's accounts, under their posts and whatnot, right? And obviously we know that that's wrong, but then you have other women, under the guise of, kindness, under the guise of compliments, it's parasocial, obviously. They're in the comments freaking out that somebody looked at their friend in a particular way, right? Like, let's say, excuse me, sorry. Let's say, again, the Cat's Eye group, because that's the most recent thing on my mind. Let's say they're on stage, right? And they're singing, or even if they aren't, right? They could just be doing something casual, like eating together. Let's say they're doing something and they look at each other like, they smile. They smile at each other like normal people. You want to know what people in the comments are saying? Oh my gosh, did you see the way that so-and-so smiled at so-and-so? They're totally going to get together. They're totally going to be a couple. I totally want them. And it's like, bro, would you say that to them with that level of energy and that level of like infatuation almost? If it was just you and those people in a room? No, you would not. I guarantee you that, like, think about it like this. Let's say that, your favorite celebrity is singing, right? They're on the stage, they're singing, doing everything that they normally do. But this time it's just you watching. Nobody else. There isn't hundreds of thousands of people next to you, right? It's just them in front of you. Would you be doing and saying and thinking all of the same things you do online? Or just the thought, right? Because again, it doesn't even necessarily have to be action. It doesn't have to be like the things that you do, right? The problem comes from the fact that these things are even like regarded when they come up in your mind, right? Because that's how it goes. You think of something and then you act on it. And so for you to feel as if it's normal or okay to think about it and then act it out in a way where like these people aren't even human to you, where they're like people have attributed this like Barbie doll effect to celebrities now, where they think of them as like a concept or like they're not real human beings that are just normal human beings, right? Regardless of their sexuality, regardless of who they're dating, regardless of anything, because there should not be specific things that make you think the way you think about that person, right? And so, like, again, another extremely weird obsession is the figure of these women, right? Like, obviously they're attractive. Obviously they, dress the way they dress on purpose, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So why is it that there are hundreds of, and I do mean hundreds, even almost thousands of women freaking out if you don't accurately say what the body type of that girl is? And I'm not joking when I say this. There are literal women out there who will freak out if you say so-and-so has a T body, but they actually have a pear body. I'm being so serious. I literally saw a video where so-and-so was like, oh, T body, right? Because if you don't know what if you don't know what that is, it basically is just the figure of the woman and how it looks, right? Like, or hourglass. I mean, sorry, I keep saying T. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Hourglass, that's what I was talking about. So anyways, these women will be like, oh, so-and-so has an hourglass type body. And again, it just means the figure of an hourglass. And so they will say that, and then other women will get so upset, or maybe men, but as far as I know, it's women. They will get so upset that you inaccurately described the way that this random woman that they do not know, that you inaccurately described it, and no, it's pear. It's a pear body. No, don't get it right. And so, anyways, I got into a little bit of a tangent there because, again, this isn't meant to be specific. This isn't meant to be about them. It isn't meant to be about any group, or even, it isn't even meant to be about like women specifically doing this, right? Because again, it's just meant to be the hypocrisy around the idea of obsession in the first place. Because, right, everyone can equally obsess over everyone. I don't understand, where it comes from that men are the only one that can do these things, or rather, men are the only ones who can take it too far, if you will, right? Like, look, this one is a little bit older, right? I remember growing up hearing about this a lot. It used to be very common for women to say that men were the reason why women felt so insecure, or women were the reason why, men were the reason why women might, get dressed up, whatever, right? Like, just the whole idea of even getting spruced up, if you will, right? And women came out and they said, no, absolutely not. That's not why we don't get ready for other men. We don't care about the attention of other men. We don't care what they think. They just have nothing but nasty stuff to say anyways, right? You want to know what the funniest part about that? A study came out not too long after that shows that women literally, they get dressed up and they do all these things as a form of competition for other women. And you want to know who craps on other women the most? Women. It's actually, it was proven that women are the ones who insult and, I don't like to use this word, but slut shame, right? Women were found out to be the ones who slut shame other women more than men do, right? And just like all types of nasty words, and just the idea of obsessing over other women, right? It's more often women that are doing this. And I know I keep saying it, but that's not even meant to be the point. It's just, there is this narrative that exists that everything that a woman does to another woman, it always comes from this genuine, like, we care about you kind of way, right? Regardless of what it is. Like, here's another thing, and I'm not going to get off track. I promise. This will be real quick. Another thing that I remember was Cooking with Kaya. When she came out, when she became popular, oh my gosh, every single person in the universe, every single woman was freaking out about this girl. And the reason why they say, and this is their words, this isn't my words, this is the reason why they say they were freaking out. Because all she had was a nice butt, and she was shaking it and being a pick-me, right? That's what they said. But all of the other years, all of the many years leading up until this point, it's always been my body, my choice. Let me do what I want with my body. Stop objectifying me, right? And so look, those two things can be true at the same time. Cooking with Kaya could easily be a pick-me, and you can also say, let me do what I want, don't objectify me. But then, when you're the person saying, let women do the things they want, let them dress the way they want, let them do this, let them do that, stop paying, why do you guys have to lust over women so much? Why this, why that, blah, blah, men this, men. But then a woman does something that a lot of women do, even if they don't say it, right? Even if, it might not be as direct, if you will. If she comes out and says, oh, I'm making food for your man, and then she starts shaking her butt, right? I don't understand how you aren't literally doing the same exact thing that you were so upset that men were doing, right? And so again, there's just hypocrisy. It really is just hypocrisy. But it's I don't know. I just felt like it needed to be spoken about, I guess, because I really don't see it being spoken about a lot, where things kind of get pushed under the rug when it comes to, I guess, women groups specifically, where like, again, everything is just always under the guise of niceness, if you will. Like, I remember growing up hearing that if a woman if a woman compliments another woman, that means that they actually don't like you. Like, for example, I remember hearing this specifically, where somebody was like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. You're like a girl talking to another girl. She was like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty, right? And if a girl says a bunch of stuff like that, apparently it means they're actually being fake and they're insulting you. That's a very normal thing, right? That isn't like a uncommon thing for women to think about other women. And so, yeah, trust me, like I said earlier, two things can be true at the same time. Women can be doing these things just as much as men are, right? Men are just as guilty as women are, but we have to remember women are just as guilty as men are, because it's easy, right? It's easy to say, oh yeah, men are just as guilty as women are. But then if you preface it that way, it's cool. But if you preface it with women are as guilty as men are, then people start to get like, but men too. Make sure you're talking about men too. Oh, men do that too. And it's like, okay, bro, we get it. Trust me. But anyways, I'm going in circles. I just wanted to come on here and make that distinction. I just feel like it, again, this isn't spoken about a lot. If you disagree, agree, or if you think anything, whatever it might be, maybe if you have a different perspective, whatever it might be, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you watching this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day.